And so, basically, you know, we didn't have a full grasp on Zebra at that point to where we didn't know if we needed to be grounded or what have you, what we needed to pursue this band. And at that point, Zebra still had electronic drums as well as real drums, which was me. Mm-hmm. And so when we played a song, it would be like playing a track, but then they would do the vocals over it, but it was, you know, fake drums playing while I was playing, which was something nobody, especially locally, ever did.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And so what I just remember from the first show is, one, having super amounts of anxiety because we're playing in front of people, and then two, that it was packed as fuck, literally, for our band, because they loved our band before we even really got to play for them.
That was our first show, and that basement was packed with a bunch of scene kids. I remember that Andy was like, hey, we've never had this many people here. We've never had this many scene kids.
Yeah, no, it was like people that never came.
Antioch High was right down the street,
yeah,
so...
people that never came to that basement for other shows, other punk shows, came for our band, to where it was so packed, it was like fucking sardines.
Yeah.
And to where... you guys, I had my own space because the drums were way back by the monitors, but you guys were just crowded with people.
I think that's just like, that's the epitome of we had like a lot of friends in the church, in different churches, and in various high schools too at the same time, and then we had just a lot,
and then a lot of
MySpace,
internet
and music videos. We were just fucking around and put songs up there, and we were doing a lot of random videos before we even did a show.
Yeah, we pumped it up a lot.
We didn't realize how essential that was, because when we finally played the show,
because we never did that.
We didn't know who to expect. We didn't know what to expect, and then just like.
But it ended up being packed as fuck to where no one could move. But
I mean, according to like the energy amount, that was like probably the highest amount of intimacy energy I've ever experienced. Just because of like, well, when you're that close to people, and it's just a
because there's like, no stage, you know,
the fire code was broken.
Oh,
like,
for sure,
just
like the
just like
for some reason, like that amount of people and everything. I flicked that spider. Okay, so he was like, he pointed at me to give me confidence, and so she films that in the video, which I really like. Like, she's looking at Jake Broughton and he's pointing, and then she tries to film me, but I'm in that dark corner, so you can't really see me. Like, maybe if you turn up the resolution or something. Is that the right term? Drunk. Okay.
Yeah.
And I point at him right before I play, but you can't really see me, you just see him pointing in the corner. And what's really cool about that show, too, is that I was so nervous, I'm like, fuck it, you know what, I love our songs right now, so you could hear me singing the songs, too. And it almost sounds like mob vocals, especially in that video. And I remember Mom watching it and being like, why is there a girl singing? And I'm like, that's me. I was just so nervous. I was doing it anyway.
That's so tight.
And you could hear me mess up in it, but no one thinks it's a mess up. They think it's on purpose. And so I come in late to that breakdown that was just hi-hat.
Oh.
Did you know that? That's a fun fact. I know she's like filming all the people at that point. Let's show some love shit. And I come into the hi-hat late before that breakdown because I was thinking about singing it, you know, because I was just doing that already, and then I was like, oh, I should have hit hi-hat already.
So nuts, like, you had the fucking whole youth, the teenage youth hipster scene in that fucking basement on that night, in that...
It was so packed, like, I know there's more stories, like, that people have said, like, where, okay, so Bagel for, Steven Reza, sorry, not Bagel.
Yeah.
Okay, he played that show with us, and his cord got ripped out of his guitar during the part he was supposed to play solo.
He was supposed to play solo.
Which is essentially why he quit Zebra.
Which is essentially why he wanted to play at all, was to do that solo.
Oh, yeah, just, you know, can we...
Whatever.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You know,
if there's any time to live your life right now.
Some people like to play solos and be like, hey, look at me, there's a spotlight on me.
Well, it's like that's the one thing he's good at, is this pedantic, like, playing. It's like he copies other people and gets his own style, and then he is a soloist. You know, that's what really Bagel has always been, as a soloist. Like, he plays with the band great, and he could sing great, but, like, you know, he's a soloist.
But yeah, so I just remember he played that first show with us.
Pieces.
He played that first show with us, and his cord got ripped out, and he couldn't play his solo, and then... You have a quote, I feel like, by him. I feel like there's what he said.
Oh, he's afterwards. Like, he was so bummed and so poopy pants. He was like, man, he's like, he was just like, I'm like, man, what's wrong? It wasn't a great show because I'm just like elated.
Yeah,
with the
me
fight.
too.
I'm like, oh my god, I never thought it would be that great. I choked out Jacob Broughton before the show started. I forgot to mention that. And then Jacob Broughton came downstairs when we were setting up. He's like, never do that again. And I'm like, I already felt bad, so I'm like, yeah, probably.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just like drama. That show just was like, you know what I mean? You could just tell when there's that chaotic magic that just makes things like legendary. Steven Reza afterward, it was just like, man, he's like, somebody stepped on the cord and it just came out. And I couldn't find it because, you know, there's too many people and I couldn't even bend over.
Sardines. Yeah, no, you couldn't move anywhere.
And he's like, no, man. I'm like, no, it's okay though. That's okay. He's like, no, man, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And just walks away. And that was kind of what that ended up being. Yes.
And then he quit after that.
Yeah, and then he quit after that.